How do you do, folks? Here we go. As you can see, Caesar is all in for the uh, pre-stream check, and it's not that he's getting bribed with food eating out of my hand. It's just that's how we roll in the hood. Welcome, it's April Fool's Day, and I don't have any silly April Fool's jokes because, well, people tend to believe the dumb shit I say, and it gets a little more dangerous than if a normal person does an April Fool's joke. So we're gonna start off right now. I'm a dumbass. I missed my own. It's been 5 years of streaming live from our living room. Mrs. Comic in the house on the couch there, trying to reel me back in. Um, so I'm going to recap some of the most wonderfulest moments here in live stream history. Can't believe it was March 2020, and here we are. Um, little recap here. I know some of you, Peckers, I mean in a nice way, have been with us in this stream since the March debut 2020. That was pandemic. Middle of the month, I remember coming back from a show out in the middle of nowhere. If things were starting to close down, it was borderline whether they should have even had that show or not. And of course, people were saying it's only going to be a week or two, or a year or two, I guess is how it turned out. So I'm grateful to all of you who've been tuning in. Man, I learned a lot of shit. Learning how to stream live from necessity was basically uh, what happened here. And also now I have cat food goo all over my hands. Normally when I do this, I run into the kitchen and wash my hands. But now what's going to happen now is it's going to be critical that I do not lick my fingers, which I don't normally do. But as soon as you have cat goo on your fingers, and then you say, um, I shouldn't lick my fingers because there's cat goo on them, that's when you, or I should say me, I'm most likely to lick my fingers with cat goo. Um, so let's see. Here we go. I'm trying to. I think Mrs. Comic ran to get me something to wipe my hands with, but if she didn't, I'm pausing for no apparent reason. If she got a cookie or something, that's a whole nother ballgame. Here we go, Mrs. Comic, always bringing stuff into the show that is badly needed. History, as it is a wipe the cat food goo off my fingers. Caesar is eyeballing me up a storm here again. Uh, let's do a little bit of pre stuff here. My social media, I'm all over the place, but I'm not on TikTok right now. I got hacked. I reported it. They took over my account with their email address, and TikTok doesn't really find anything wrong with that. So if you're on TikTok and you get hacked, don't come crying to TikTok. And also, don't be foolish and post on your social media like I did, because I got pounded with strangers who seemed like they were willing to help me for a fee. And I guess you have to give your passwords and all that happy horse shit. So I haven't really done any of that shit yet. So I basically don't have a TikTok. I kind of have a new one, but I didn't post yet. But that's another rant for another night. Saturday night, I will be back at the Allen Theater. It's I think it's at Avondale. It's actually right by Lebanon Valley College. Um, so that's a really fun show. If you're in that neighborhood, get on down there to see that. And we have to go back to some. Oh, I got to do some more shameless self promotion. Dope Thief coming up. I think it might air actually. I don't know if it's going to make it Thursday night. They sometimes wind up at midnight. So I'm 99.999% sure I will be in Dope Thief, um, airing Friday. So, and if you haven't watched the whole series, feel free to just skip ahead and look for me. That's fine. I don't really give a shit there. Let's see here. And while we're doing stuff, okay, so now going back to the history of, we know who will recognize this. Richter will recognize this as Bourbon Balls. Right there is where Bourbon Balls began. I was getting better at streaming, but I was trying to learn shit. So I got Streamlabs template. And if you were with us that night, the frame, I couldn't get the frame around me. So the frame was everywhere. The frame was this way and that. And I was looking at what I see on the screen, and there's a time delay. And as far as this stuff goes, okay, let's go back to this. There's a bourbon ball toast to me for the anniversary of 5 years of show of streaming here. So this is my left, but on there, it's on my right. So everything's this way and that, which is important to this because in my efforts to get the frame to go around me, I was on a time delay, and so when I'd reach for my glass, I wouldn't have my glass yet in there, and so I was releasing, and I spilled bourbon on my balls. Is basically it's not really all that clever. So that was the birth of bourbon balls right there, and uh, I had spent 30, 40 minutes of the live stream trying to figure out how to put that fucking frame on and get things going, and I gave up. And then I figured out as soon as I went off the air, then I went right back on. I know a lot of you peckerheads were right there with us coming back in. And that's where the bourbon balls happen. That's where the bourbon hit the balls. Traditions matter. Kyle Butler drunk off of one sip there. And we're going through a couple of, I'm tracking through some of the most famous times here. Here we go. Um, the mouse ears. This is one of the most famous scenes in live stream history of my life. And there you see the beloved Sparky Goo. We miss her every day. Sparky loved streaming live. She had fans. She got Christmas gifts. I walked into a medical marijuana dispensary and the person didn't know me. They said, "Hey, it's the guy who streams live with his cockatiel." So Sparky was part of all this. And if you weren't in on the mouse ears, what happened was, as you can see right there, there's a microphone. Those are hats that are set up, and I got to be a real lazy ass because here we see me. Like, I mean, it looks like I could stream live, but I had this thing set up to make it look like stand-up comedy because I came home in a state of panic. I said, "We're fucked. I think we're going to be shut down. I have like my next three shows are canceled anyway, so I think we're really fucked. Let's try to stream live." And Mrs. Comic had to be upstairs because this was too fucking weird to be in the room with her. And again, so shit would go wrong and there would be a time delay. Mrs. Comic would have to come down and she'd absolutely. Richter, if I fucking love you, dude, that's not necessary, but really appreciate it. Many fine thanks. Um, so, Mrs. Comic is the opposite of me. So I wouldn't think twice about barging into someone's live stream. I've done it on the air with Bearman and Keith. I just showed up when the red light was on, and they're like, "We're on the air." "Oh, are we?" "Yeah, the red light." Um, so Mrs. Comic said that when I have my head a certain way in this picture, it appears that I have Mickey Mouse ears. And once I saw that, it could not be unseen. So, live, streaming live, I took the hats off so they didn't line up to give me fucking Mickey Mouse ears. And then Mrs. Comic came back down and said, "The chat misses the mouse ears." So I put the fucking mouse ears back because we're here to entertain and hang out. And those days were especially precious to us because uh, people were really feeling alone. And don't make no mistake, I wanted the money, but there was no way in hell I was going to make enough money from streaming live. But I love performing and I miss performing and I wanted to have a way to connect. And people, especially people who went through pandemic who live alone, holy fuck, I don't know how you did it. Um, Mrs. Comic and I are lucky because we were awesome together and we don't want to kill each other. Plus, we made it through pandemic. So if we were going to kill each other, it probably would have been through pandemic. So I'm flashing back to when you start to learn to stream, a lot of shit can go wrong. First and foremost, you can lose your connection. I had to up my internet connection a little bit. Not we were in pretty good shape, so I didn't have to do it too much. But also, I had to stream I've got my MacBook right here now, which was also fan funded, but I'm jumping ahead here. Yeah, I had to stream off a iPhone, a small one, and so I could see the monitor here and see pretty much what's going on. I can see a little bit of the chat, but this teeny little phone, not even this one, it was smaller than this, was way over there, and I couldn't fucking see anything really that was going on. And I also had no way of knowing if you folks were enjoying the show until I started seeing the laughing faces go up. So I really don't take a break to breathe or anything. So I'm not. When you perform stand-up comedy, you say a thing, then people laugh, and that's when I breathe. So when there's no real audience that I can see, I really didn't know when to breathe. And so my first few live stream shows are basically pretty much what I still do. It was like for fucking 45 minutes to an hour, which apparently I still do. But I did turn into a lazy ass. I don't have the lavish backdrops here and the microphones and all that stuff. Caesar's lounging now. It's biscuits. If you have cats, you know what biscuits are. He does biscuits now during this exciting part of the show. Uh, Sparky loved the pre-setup, flying all around and going nuts and landing this way and that. And occasionally Sparky would say when we would start, "Fuck it, you're on your own now," and just hop over on the shelf over here, which I have in darkness. Um, so nobody really took to streaming live as a buddy, uh, but Sparky had all kinds of magical moments. Let's see here. I've dropped a few in. Let's see here. There's bourbon balls. Let's see. I thought I put more pictures in, which I always think I do, but I didn't. There's mouse ears, and there's dope thief. So when Mary, we miss Mary every day. Mary never really took to live streaming either, but I lured her onto my lap with treats, and that's her debut right there. Mary debuted a live stream by showing her ass to you, the fine viewing audience, and there you see the "fuck you in a bucket of goo" sign, which was presented to me by Moyer from the morning show, and their friend had painted that for me. So that's still around the house here. Then you got your bourbon balls. Now let's see here. I've got. I had another picture. Uh, I dialed it back. I dialed back on the show tonight as far as including Sparky because I thought I would just break because Sparky would land on this fucking microphone and people couldn't see it, and she'd actually let me raise up the fucking microphone and just rise up. It was the fucking greatest thing. I have video somewhere. I didn't really plan this out too far ahead. And also, I thought I had a picture, but I didn't load it in because I'm a dumbass. Um, Sparky, I think I could probably do this. Let me get rid of one of these things. All right, I'll get rid of my Allen Theater commercial. I'm going to be at the Allen Theater. Bear with me because I wanted this included. Let's see if I can find it. All right, there's that, there's that. Bibbity bobbity boo. Oh, there it is. That is one of the most amazing things. All right, I think you can see that now. That is Sparky drinking, um, and it was magical. It was also an amazing thing because you folks seem to love watching Sparky take a drink. I get to take a break, and I mean, that's live entertainment right there. So the live stream shows have been going. I don't do them every week, but when I first started, I holy fuck, I must have done 30 or 40 Saturdays in a row to hump us through this thing, and folks were just absolutely incredible. Um, I'm going back through when I I started to figure out I could just tell stories and I could breathe a little more in my show. And so, of course, then you have to do some filler stuff because trying to perform stand up comedy in a room without you here, even though you're here, was tricky. So I did have a thing where folks did selfies, and I should have prepared more for this, but folks were doing selfies of watching me on their devices while they were stuck home on pandemic. So that was fantastic. And then I tried to have some more fun stuff going on. Let's see here. Um, I had a Mountain Monsters episode where I had on the headlight, and that was a fun episode. We were hunting mountain monsters, so that was fun. And then I remembered, since Mrs. Comic and I had basically no income, we had the most amazing fans, most amazing family taking care of us, sending us all kinds of stuff. But we were trying to dial down what we spent basically because we didn't have any money. I actually love ice cubes, of which I don't have any in my flamboyant cranberry ginger ale right now because they melted. But I'm a lazy ass, and we bought ice cubes and said, "Fuck it, we'll just make our own ice cubes." So I actually had a lesson where I showed you my ice cube tray and how to fill them up. And then Crenshaw, I don't think we'll hear from him tonight, but Crenshaw mocked me and said, "Thanks for teaching us all how to make ice cubes." It was more of a bragging thing, but yeah, I guess it was practical. Uh, we had also, again, Mrs. Comic would come flying in with shit that I would talk about, and we had it like the magic bullet. I was hemming and hawing with the magic bullet, and I forgot that we had a magic bullet. So a magic bullet came in. That was a whole episode right there. Um, it's just been. I can't believe it's been 5 fucking years. Holy shit! I don't know how that happened. Let me regroup here. So back to where the hell is it? But a lot of things could go wrong in the live stream. I had to learn on the fly. Um, the what's amazing about that donation, Richter, just because you're amazing and we love you and we really appreciate that. I wasn't allowed to receive donations, monetized they call it, until I hit a certain number of hours of viewing time on my YouTube channel. That was what the thing was. And so I actually asked you, Peckerheads, and me in a nice way, to just click on play all and repeat. And so it rammed up my fucking hours. So I got to the point where I could actually beg you for money. And so that was the most ridiculous thing there. But again, things would go wrong. And when my thing here looks fine, as fine as it can be, considering I'm sitting at home trying to pretend like I'm entertaining, uh, but the stream could lock up. And so while I would see me doing all this stuff this way and that, uh, Mrs. Comic would come from downstairs and go, the the stream is frozen. And then I go, "What the fuck are you talking about?" Because I'm right there. Then she'd show me in her phone, and I would be this. And sometimes tripping on audio, like. Then we'd have to fucking shut it down and regroup. And then Mrs. Comic would have to chase these over to a new link. I'd have to fucking, whatever you're watching now, we'd have to shut it down. And I'd start a whole new link. And it was just one adventure after the next. And it got to be to the point where things were funner if things went wrong. Magical moment number 47B. I looked fine to myself in the phone. Mrs. Comic came in and said, "The chat says you're sideways." And smart mouthily, I said, "Well, tell them to turn their fucking phones right side up because I look fine to me. How about that? Son of a bitch." So it's been actually incredible. I know I should stream more. I burped again. That's a normal segment of my live stream show, but it's not that popular. But I burp, and now it's become part of the show. I said now, but all this self-indulgent shit. I want to get back to some fun stuff. Caesar has really shaken up this house in the best possible way. Uh, Without going into too much detail, he likes when there's a new piece of furniture, even if it's not new, something different. And we just were gifted a couch, and it's cat friendly. So I basically cannot relax on this sofa as much as I love it because this would be my corner. So when I do this to sit in my corner, there's a 99% chance that that's going to happen. And there's also a 99% chance that that's at fucking midnight or 2 o'clock in the morning. And he'll come up there behind me completely silent. The first thing I will hear is his claws when they're getting close to my head. And that's actually quite fun. And that's a toy I built from another toy. When I ripped the head off of a toy that he didn't really like that much. So there's that. Now we're moving over to a little guy that I just can't even believe he got saved. We're trying to find a home for Rico, our daughter and her partner's rescue cat that weighed about a pound. It was on its deathbed. It didn't even have the strength to stand up nor outrun its own shit. They decided to keep him, and we get to cat sit every so often for Rico and Hank. And he is just the most ridiculous thing. And here you go, Rico. Wow, look at that. That's a 1 second video. He's flying. Holy shit. So Rico's doing good. Caesar was helping with the live stream here, but he decided to take a break. And while I'm all over the place here, I think you'll have volume in this. I used to do it in my show. I have the big McDonald's cursing finale, and I also have an F-bomb choir, but I also have a Battle of the Sexes where we break up into two teams. The women are team A and the men are team 2, and that fucks up guys because they're like, how can it be A and 2? It doesn't make sense. I don't know what team I'm on. And I brought this back. I hope there's volume. I did F-bomb Battle of the Sexes.
Battle here, Battle of Sexes. So ladies, here we go. Now, if anybody pulls from my page that I say fuck too much, I will post that as a gift.
I would try to edit
F-bomb, battle here, Battle of Sexes. So ladies, here we go.
Tribute to live.
F-bomb, battle here, Battle of Sexes. So ladies, here we go. Now, if anybody pulls from my page that I say fuck too much, I will post that as Exhibit A for my defense. Thank you. I love it, pleasure. I love it.
Because I curse in my show and people get all pissy about me cursing. I tagged it on. If anybody is going to post on my fan page that I say fuck too much, I was actually going to post that video clip and say, well, it's not just me, it's everyone, it's all of us. They're fucking doing it too. So the punchline to this, or not a punchline, there's a theme. We should be having fun in life. That's the name of the game. We should be having fun, and that was the whole idea behind streaming live, just to try to connect with people. And I'm really grateful. Mrs. Comic is grateful that you hardcore, die-hard fans have been here. I'm hanging on. My Patreon never really took off, but I really appreciate you folks being here. We got like, I don't think I've cracked 20 people. A lot of these are for free anyway. Just trying to get some entertainment out there. But some of this comes back to bite me in the ass because I leave these clips up, and if new clubs and stuff want to book me, they go in and they see all these live stream shows. These are not really fantastic auditions to perform stand-up comedy. So I have to figure out a way to organize those fuckers somehow. So there's that going on. Let's see here. We get the mouse ears. This is probably one of the most miserable anniversary tributes that anybody ever threw themselves. Oh, there I am. I'm on live screen right now. But it's been really a lot of fun. And like I say, when shit goes wrong, sometimes it's out of my hands. We had glitches. We had me sideways. We had mouse ears. We had where we couldn't see me. Then we had where we couldn't hear me. And I couldn't be in the frame, which led us to Bourbon Bowl. So you take the good with the bad, right? So when uh, when that first hit, pandemic, the idea of streaming like this is fucking stupid. I really don't know how people do shows like that where they just speak and think they can hold people's interest. I'm not saying I don't care, but a part of me doesn't care because if you care too much, it's not going to work. It's basically that. So I'm counting on people really being fucking bored and they need something in the way of entertainment. Um, and just you folks help me to relax. You folks actually help me be a better guest on other shows, even though I don't let anybody talk on the other shows that I guest on. They just fucking turn me loose. And then when I finally got back to performing on stage again, this fucked me up because I got used to not being able to hear people laugh. It is a critical part of stand up comedy. I've had uh, things in my career already where they wanted me to just do like a dry run through part of the show with no audience. That's the dumbest fucking thing that you could possibly imagine. So this helped me be able to do some shit like that. Um, but that's our show for the week. I mean, my anniversary show really sucked. I didn't book any guests. Crenshaw's not here. Keith isn't here. Mrs. Comic is in shock because she can't believe I'm ending my show already. That's a false ending. I'm not actually ending my show now. But I faked her. That's why I can't fucking do April Fool's Day because I'm believable. At least Mrs. Comic believes me. That's because she trusts me, which kind of makes me an asshole because she's over there going, how can the fucking show be over? Her face said it. She didn't say it, but like a cartoon bubble came off her head.
My face did say it.
It looked like it. Her face did say that this whole fucking thing is over. So there's that going on. I'm trying to see here if I've got any magical notes. I made some notes and I don't use them. I have my cat goo on my fingers there. Let's see here. Let's see. Oh yeah, I had also uh, I had show and tell for a while. I remember I had a segment because money was tight. I had really no income except for begging from the fans and whatever was going on. So that's when I became aware of a lot of shit that I bought that I wish I never would have fucking bought and I would have had the money back right there. So it was an actual segment of here on this week's episode of shit that I wish I shouldn't have bought, wouldn't have bought, so I had the money back. One of those things was a eye exam light. I don't know if you remember that. There was a chart right here. It had all the letters. It says A and B, C, F, U. You bought a fucking light that you don't need for an eye test. So that was a thing that we bought, and I bought a lot of shit for live streaming that I wound up not using because um, I got a badass Brio 4K camera now, but I had little microphones that plug into the phones, which were outstanding to help sound until I got this, which kicks ass, but now it makes those things obsolete. So I have some actually probably the only Amish guy with outdated live stream hardware. So there's that going on. Let's see here. Bop, 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 bop. Um, oh, the F bomb choir, that was fun too because that room. I don't know if you can see that room. I'm gonna see. I'll put this back on to see the room, but I did something, and when I click on this again, you probably won't see it.
F-bomb battle here, battle of sexes. So ladies, here we go.
No. Look. Fuck! That's a casino. Fuck! Really close off. It's the weirdest.
Now, if anybody posts on my page that I say fuck too much, I will post that as Exhibit A for my defense. Thank you. So you're not being I love it, buddy. I love it.
All kinds of shit, and I don't know how the fucking brain power. I don't know how they fucking did it, and they stayed there. I actually, at the risk of sounding like I'm complaining, it's really a weird, awesome thing to perform in a casino, just in a little extra room that isn't closed off, and it's a free show. So I've been selling those out, but it's not that much of a blast to my ego, because if you can't sell out a show that's free, it's actually really embarrassing. So there's a lot of pressure when a show is free. If it doesn't sell out, that's fucking terrible, because it only holds like 100 people. So especially where it's packed. Um, but I think it's easy to sell out a casino in Shippensburg where the price is free, and that casino used to be a Lowe's. So the entertainment there was probably a little bit drastic. So while I'm flipping through here, I did all kinds of shit. I remember I did Phantom of the Outhouse. I had the mask on. I used to do these big introductions and shit. I remember Mrs. Comic scared the fuck out of me with the Twin Peaks Agent Cooper pillow, and I believe Richter put her up to this. She's getting this thing over here, tossing this over. All right, so I think Richter put it in Mrs. Comic's head to sneak behind the curtain and scare the fuck out of me with this Agent Cooper. That worked. That actually worked. Uh, so I mean, so we've been tearing it up. I still can't believe it's been 5 years since the first one. Completely nerve wracking. Oh, there's Caesar hopping in right on schedule. That means I might not be able to give all of you the attention that you require, because when Caesar wants attention, Caesar gets attention. Somebody is looking good on the live stream. Yes, you are, but let's don't forget, you expect some rewards. Now, we're going to have a purr pop here. Now, purr pops, if you have cats, you want to get a purr pop. So here's what the dilemma is with the purr pop. Caesar can't be trusted with the stick. It's like a lollipop for cats, but he'll try to take this. See, he's trying to take it away from me so he can go off somewhere with it. But he tried to swallow one of these sticks whole because I'm a dumbass. I was laughing. Look, Caesar's trying to swallow the whole purr pop lollipop stick. And Mrs. Comic was screaming, "It's gonna fucking kill him!" So then we had to, and it was all the way, he had his mouth all the way down, there was only this much left. And I thought it was funny until Mrs. Comic pulled that fucker out of there. I gotta give this to this guy now, because he's gonna go nuts. I can't give you the stick though, so I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna twist this off the stick. And this went better at rehearsal when he got one of these at rehearsal. But now you got an extra one. You got a purr pop. There's that. So we're loving this guy. He he likes streaming live more than Mary. Mary never took to streaming live either because of the commotion. It's all about the commotion. Sparky loves the commotion. When I start flailing around this way and that, Sparky fly all around the room and start beeping and screaming. Sparky loved commotion. Caesar likes commotion control, but Mary's like, I can't be bothered with all this fucking screaming and going nuts and shit. And while I'm strolling down Amnesia Lane here, streaming live, my neighbors, I have amazing neighbors, I have really nice neighbors who didn't have the slightest idea I was a stand-up comedian, and they had a house full of kids all ages. And Saturday night, I stream at 8 o'clock, and the dance party would start, which we had no problem with it. Mrs. Comic and I are fine with noisy neighbors if it's a happy, fun party, if it's a picnic, if it's this, if it's that. If the sounds of happy, fun life are absolutely incredible, I would never tell anybody to turn their music down. No way. I just thought it was funny that every Saturday night it synced up with my live stream and the dance party over there. Mrs. Comic said it is possible they are just putting on the dance music loud so their children of all ages don't hear you over there going, "Fuck you, the bucket of goo, you motherfucker, I slurs, you was breathing when I left her, scrapple sucking sluts, masturbating Mennonites." So it's possible that music was played at that volume to drown out the cursing. And that's how you protect your kids from hearing my show. Conversation about that happened with my fans are amazing. When I go out and I have a show, people will say they saw me like 10, 15, 20 years ago, and I didn't even tell Mrs. Comic this story. Uh, Way back when I didn't run my own shows, I did a Wisecrackers Comedy Club in Allentown. It was actually over by the ZZO uh, studio over there, down in the Ramada, and they they didn't draw a lot of people because it's a fucking weird location. It's if you go out 7th Street, MacArthur Road, they have the barrier there, and to fucking get over there is weird. So you have to loop up and loop around and come back. It's not conducive of attracting just people popping in. And then you have to weave your way back behind the studio, and you go in this dirt road. It seems like you're going to dump a body there. So they did a late show, and late shows, you can't sell a late show in the Lehigh Valley. It's not. We are not a late show town. Philly late show, New York City late show, Allentown no late show. So, but that doesn't stop them. So it's 10:15 start. The opening acts they didn't get to me till about 11 o'clock, and it was mostly people who were staying in the hotel came to that show. There was a businessman with a stick up his ass because he wasn't happy about the entertainment that was taking place in his hotel. He could have fucking went back to his room. It wasn't my fault. And he brought with him about a 12-year-old kid. And he's giving me this. And finally I snapped him there. Look, I'm not the bad parent here. I'm not the parent who brought a 12-year-old kid to my fucking show at 11 o'clock at night. You are the bad parent right now. So that kid's gonna rat think you out. I'd ask him for like $20 to keep your mouth shut so you don't have to report to your mother that your father brought you to a cursing Amishman show. And that chilled him out a little bit. Uh, but somebody was at my show Friday night who was also at that show. So occasionally they remember stuff that's bad, and that would have been a bad uh, memory there. So I probably have to go back into therapy because of that. And I don't think Mrs. Comic ever heard that story, so now she's a teeny little bit worried about me, what I do out in the world that I don't report. Caesar's thinking of coming back up here. Are you going to do it? When he's ready to jump up somewhere, he doesn't just fucking jump up. He figures it out, and he'll be like, it's going to be 2.5 steps, and this amount of pressure will be needed. I'm gonna go on 3 and then 1, 2, and if anything fucks that up, he's got to start over again. So he doesn't really respond to this coming up on the lap. That actually fucks him up. Now, if I turn this a little bit here to clear the field, now he's looking at Mrs. Comic, and you can't blame him. Come on up here, buddy. Okay. Spoilers. He loves my fingers. He absolutely loves. I should have put on the video where he wouldn't respond to the toy, but he came for my fingers. So now this could lure him up, but then again, he will think it's. Never mind that it's live and it's my 5-year anniversary show. Never mind that. All right, so never mind that. I was in my notebook here trying to figure shit out. I really didn't think this through. So again, I threw myself a kind of a shitty. And Caesar's liable to hop up now because when I'm busy, that's when he knows that he can stick his nose in here. There you go. See, as soon as you see me doing stuff, you want to come in, right? There you go. The lighting, I don't have the lighting really set up. So if you could come over into this lighting, you're in bad lighting. So if I could convince you to come over here, let's see here. If I could convince you to come over here into the better lighting, I would do it. But that's perfect. But now you're expecting another treat. Well, as much as this is a 5-year anniversary, ish, we actually missed it. There's that. Right there. That is live entertainment. Where are you going to find live entertainment like this. I challenge any of you peckerheads to find a stand-up comedian who just has such confidence in their performance that they will feed treats to a cat out of their hand. That is entertainment right there. All right, so we did that. Now, when I take the treats away, he believes the treats should keep coming. So now I'm in a teeny tiny little bit of trouble. So there's that. Um, I really thought I had more to talk about it. It's lucky that you're here because at least if people are bored, they can go, oh, look how cute the cat is. Now, he thinks I'm a big cat. If he takes a nip at me, don't be worried. He's the sweetest soul, but he thinks I'm a big cat, and cats like to wrestle like that. And he loves my hands. So if I try to type anything, he thinks, look at it. Here we go. Look at his face. He's like, holy shit. In fact, I fucked up because I'll have to put it in the picture for next week. When we're playing and he decides I'm the toy, he makes a face that is exactly that. Right there. See, these hands got him all worked up. That's why I invented this, just in case. Again, this is live entertainment. But people go to the circus and they watch lion tamers and shit. But that seems like a whole lot of trouble, and the ticket costs too much. And now he's coming over. I think he's gonna want to do a circus. We might have to end this show faster than I wanted to. But let's see here. You ate the Purr Pop. You ate the licking stick. And I'd like to point out that I don't know if it was you or Mary. It might have been Mary. I fed him. I fed her way too many treats to keep her on camera, and she thanked me with a massive throw up right after the show. So we hope we don't have vomit here. But if he would throw up, uh, I'm here to tell you I don't like throwing up. Nobody likes throwing up. If you like throwing up, then you're fucked up. Something's wrong with you. But if you have to throw up, you would want to throw up like Caesar throws up. Caesar will throw up and he will burst into playful gallop 1 millionth of a second after the throw up. It's almost like, well, now I got that out of my system. Now I can get back to playing. So I think he's going down. Well, I know what you're doing. See, there's a rhythm here. When we do a licking stick, then he gets a celebration floor treat. So I'm going to put that down there. There's that. And again, where are you going to find entertainment like this, Richter? There's no refunds on your generous donation because ultimately we're just watching me feed the cat treats out of my hand. So there's that going on. Let's see what else I got here. We got the mouse ears. We got. That's it. I literally have nothing else interesting to tell you about. We got the bourbon balls. But interesting though, what's interesting to me about that is bourbon balls was something that hung around. Bourbon balls became a thing. And it's one of those deals where, like, if you know, you know. If you don't know, you don't know. I was so disgusted that night because I like learning shit if I can learn it and the thing happens. When I try to learn something and it fucks up, I really fucking nasty. So I was all excited to present the live stream with the frame and all this, and then it fucked up and I got in a really fucking pissy mood. And then as soon as I shut it down, I figured it out. I became actually really excited. So I don't know how many people edit their live streams actually live themselves and learn it and then fuck it up and then shut it down and go back. That must be history of some sorts right there. So there's that. Here's me toasting myself again. Um, Here's me. There's me. So it's already questions. I hope everybody's doing well. We appreciate you tuning in. And again, it's free. It's Tuesday. We're trying to make Tuesday suck less. And I keep changing the theme of the show all the time. So when I don't stream on Tuesday, then it's trying to make Tuesday suck less on Wednesday. But it's actually Tuesday right now. Here goes my alarm. It means I've been babbling away for at least 45 minutes. So you got your free money's worth right there. Let's see here. That's it. That's all the excitement I have. I was pissing and moaning. I forget what I talked to you folks about it last week, but I remember pissing and moaning in my show that people are really stressed out. It's a lot of fucking tension in the world right now, and there's no politics in my show, but I do a thing where people make shit up and they go, it must be a lot of fun to party with the Amish because the horse knows the way home. And then I go all nuts and go, horse doesn't know dick. I got all manure faced at the taffy pole one night. I passed out behind the reins of the buggy and I woke up in fucking Canada. I realize on stage now that Canada is political. And it wasn't fucking political when I wrote the joke, but now it's fucking political and it's a thing that I have to trip over. And people kind of stare at me a little bit, and it's not really political. It's more of a what the fuck? How did we get in a fucking war with Canada? Nobody could have predicted that. Nobody could have predicted that. And here's what's really fucked up. I'm speaking to all my old fun hippies. Uh, Canada was the safe haven for pot smoking hippies to avoid the draft. Yeah, nobody was going to go. If I get drafted, fuck it, I'll go to Canada. Nobody's actually going to go, but it was our safety valve. And so now, pot smoking hippies to avoid the draft, we are not welcome in Canada. So that escape route is kind of fucked up. And it got us to thinking about sometimes Mrs. Comic and I have been together for amazingly fucking ever. We went on adventures with our friend Frank, and he and Clee. We went on these adventures, and we went to Niagara Falls, and we got to go into Canada without passports, and we didn't even have to show our driver's license if I didn't speak. If I spoke, I'd say something stupid, then we'd have to show our driver's license. But one time pulling in there, um, they asked if I had any alcohol or firearms in the car. I turned to Mrs. Comic and I said, "Does a bazooka count as a firearm?" And he fucking laughed. Right? I didn't get nothing bad happened. They just fucking laughed. And so one night we were coming back. I think we went to see possibly Philip Glass in the art park up there, and then we were coming back. So Mrs. Comic and I are in the back seat. She's out of it. She conked out early. Wasn't doped up or nothing. She just we had a big weekend and she was tired. I'm nocturnal. She's not nocturnal yet. She's asleep. Customs wants to know where we're going, where do we live, and all this and that happy horse shit. And we said we had a fun weekend, or we're going back to Pennsylvania, and Mrs. Comic was sleeping, so they needed to wake her up and ask her some questions. And Mrs. Comic, I love her like nobody's business. She doesn't wake up fast. And she will start, if I talk to her in the morning and she's not awake yet, she will apologize and warn me that she's not awake and she's not processing information yet. So she's in the back seat with me and she is sleeping on my shoulder, which screams drugged out abduction episode of Criminal Minds, and there's only one person knocked out. Everybody else is up and awake. And so I had to wake her up, and he said to her, "Don't fucking say good morning or anything or good evening." They just say, Where were you born?" And Mrs. Comic goes, "Where was I born?" Holy fuck! That made me look 19 times as guilty as I don't even know how we had to wait for Mrs. Comic to become coherent enough to say, "I was born," and that's a fucked up thing too, because in this area in Emmaus where I live, nobody was fucking born in Emmaus. The hospital was in Allentown. Anybody within fucking 15 cities of fucking Allentown was born in fucking Allentown. If you lived in Macungie, you were fucking born in Allentown. If you live in Emmaus, you were born in fucking Allentown. These are things you don't process right away when you're coming back from a Philip Glass weekend at the art park. So we didn't have to go in a special room or get searched or anything like that, but it was an adventure, and it made me miss the days of being able to go into Canada without a passport. And then we fast forward to however many years, our nephew and his bride, that was the wedding that was in Ireland, and it was very exciting. Way before that, he played little league, and by little league I mean high school ball, and he was fucking good. He fucking brilliant pitcher, batter, fucking smacking home runs. He I believe he could have turned pro, and I had this conversation with him, but he said that he didn't feel like he was large enough, big enough, physical wise. At that time, everybody was ramming steroids and shit to gain the size, to Mark McGuire size, to play in the big leagues. So, but we had gone up there. My brother-in-law Jack was coaching the team, the traveling team, and they went up to play in Niagara Falls, but on the New York side. We went up just to watch, and we stayed on the Canadian side, and that's where we played our game, where we watched with binoculars, Mrs. Comic and I, to see who we thought was not going to make it through customs, and we were like fucking 9 out of 10 correct. They're not going to make it. Pow, over in the special lane. So they, my brother-in-law didn't want to make the pain in the ass trip across Rainbow Bridge to go to Canada. We were staying over there, and the little league team outranked him. So the kids were like, I mean, fucking New York's there. There's Rainbow Bridge. It's fucking, you can go into a foreign country right the fuck over there. So he lost, and he pulled a U turn on Rainbow Bridge, and that, that's not a smart thing to do. And he has a minivan, which was a work van that looked like a serial killer van, with the whole fucking little league team in it, including his kid. And I was lucky enough to not be in this van. I only heard about it secondhand. So they asked him who these kids were, and I will perform my brother-in-law's voice for you because it's magical, and he can't hear that well. So he's at customs, van full of little league kids, only of which one is his son, and they asked who these kids were. None of these kids are mine. Only one of these kids is mine, and I don't really know where their parents are. They might be in a different country. And he was right. They might have been in this fucking different country. How they fucking released him with those kids is anybody's fucking guess. It's just how they did it. Um, it's just amazing. But those were the days of Canada. I love Canada, and it's not political. I'm really fucking mad that possibly we're at war with Canada, because it's really a mindfuck when you think about it. If we were going to escape the draft as cowardly hippies who smoked dope in Canada, now we fucking can't do that anymore. And actually, um, somehow, if there's an underground railroad to get me into, we could probably go to Niagara Falls over a barrel. I don't really know if that's a thing you could possibly do.
No.
But I also, fuck, I don't know if you remember this. I'm so embarrassing. It's amazing she hasn't left me just on stupid shit. So, upstate New York has a lot of Amish, and it's wherever there's farmland. And apparently, the they could be Mennonites where the rules of Amishness get a little bit lax, but apparently going to Niagara Falls was like a fall harvest reward or whatever. So we were up there, and there was fucking 20 Amish walking along. It was definitely a group walking along the falls, and they had all their garb on. But I had on blue jeans and like a Guns N' Roses T-shirt, and I just fucking tagged on to the back of that train like, this guy has the right idea. He fucking left the Amish and he just came back for the tour of the falls. So they didn't fuck with me at all. Um, but I did. I got into teeny little bits of trouble up there. Holy fuck! Here's one, Richter. If everybody has to go, they can just go. Richter will appreciate this story. So, stand-up comedian. Every car I drove was a piece of shit. I'd get pulled over sometimes by a cop, and I would say, I know I wasn't speeding. How do you know you weren't speeding? Because the speed limit is 60 miles an hour, and this car fucking rumbles at 57. Once I go 57 miles an hour, it fucking shakes like that. So I know I wasn't fucking speeding. So uh, when we could actually, my career was going good enough where we could actually buy a car. Um, I got thrown out of every auto dealership on the auto mile here because they were fucking assholes, but that's a whole different story. Finally, we bought a 1997 Volkswagen Golf with a moonroof and fucking standard shift and a navy blue, and we fucking love this car. We took it everywhere, and my Jewish agent was really pissed off. He asked me why I bought a fucking Nazi mobile. I was excited because he had my career in the point where I could go buy a fucking car. And it was made in Mexico, so there's a fucking kick in the balls for you. And the horn actually had the little Mexican hat dance, which is fucked up for a Volkswagen Golf. So we kept that thing, and it was solid, but shit started to go wrong with it that I couldn't afford to get fixed. One of the things was there was an auto, it was a not a beeping to lock it, but you could put the key in and turn the key twice from the outside, and it would lock it, and then you'd hear the beep go. Something fucked up on the driver's side where you couldn't go in that way. I'd have to go unlock another door, or I think I did have a hand beeper. But if you went in with a key, so Niagara Falls, Canadian side, I told them when they lock it or don't lock it, you can't go in the driver's side, or the thing just starts fucking beeping like there's someone's going to steal it. So they didn't fucking listen to me, and we were leaving, and we left the car there the whole weekend because we could just run around and take local transportation. So they had to come down and get me and tell me that they set off the burglar alarm in my car and they didn't know how to shut it off. Now, I was sworn to secrecy because all those beautiful resorts and shit, they have fucking hell in a handcart, criminal minds, horror movie places to keep our cars. And I went through fucking hallways and elevators that scared the flying fuck out of me. But I was fascinated because it's all the shit you don't see in a travel brochure. And when we got to the floor where our car was, it was beeping. And the guy said, I feel bad, but I don't know what we did. I said, listen, it's not you, it's the car. It doesn't like strangers. And when it sees me, it will calm itself down. And then that fucking car stopped fucking beeping when I walked over to it without putting a key in it. And the guy was like, what the fuck? That's our show for this week. I can't top that story. We love you. Thanks for supporting with this, whatever the fuck it is. We love you. Don't be a dick to each other. Find things that are fun in life. And that's it. Happy anniversary to me. Boy, I think I would have got myself cake. And don't forget to watch Dope Thief. And we will hopefully see you next week. Thanks for tuning in.